Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, let's jump straight into this because today we're decoding one of the most fascinating and, let's be real, often painful mysteries of the feline world. We're talking about the feline belly trap. Why do cats actually show us their tummies? It's a behavior pretty much every cat owner has seen, and it usually starts with a scenario we all know entirely too well. So, picture this. You're walking through your living room, maybe you just got home from a long day, and there they are. Your cat looks right at you, drops to the floor, and just rolls onto their back. They expose this incredibly soft, fluffy, absolutely irresistible underside. It's like the ultimate lure, right? It looks like the warmest, most welcoming invitation in the world. And if you're like most people, your immediate instinct is to reach right down and give that fluffy tummy a good rub. But as so many of us have learned the hard way, assuming this behavior is an invitation for a belly rub can be a huge mistake. You go in for a gentle pet, and suddenly, snap, the Venus cat trap closes. Your hand gets grabbed, bitten, and maybe subjected to a flurry of scratching. And it leaves you standing there wondering, well, if you didn't want me to touch it, why did you show it to me in the first place, right? To figure out this contradiction, we kind of have to look past our own human instincts and really dig into the evolutionary science of the domestic cat. Section 1. The biology of the belly, a vulnerable zone. Okay, so to truly understand your cat's behavior here, we need to look at pure anatomy. Just think about your cat's belly for a second. It is completely devoid of any skeletal armor. There's literally no rib cage down there, no pelvic girdle extending over the stomach. Just beneath a really thin layer of muscle and skin sit your cat's vital, life-sustaining organs. We're talking the liver, the kidneys, the spleen, the intestines. And because cats evolved as both solitary predators and as prey for larger carnivores, protecting this unshielded region is just a fundamental survival tactic. In the wild, an injury to this specific area is almost always fatal. So exposing it, that carries incredibly high evolutionary stakes. Now, because the belly is so intensely vulnerable, nature actually gave cats a really fascinating defense mechanism. Enter the primordial pouch. You've probably noticed this. It's that loose, floppy flap of skin and fat hanging down near your cat's hind legs. A lot of owners actually mistake this for their cat just, being a bit overweight. But no, it's actually a standard piece of feline anatomy. It's present in all cats, from your living room tabby all the way up to wild lions and tigers. It serves as a vital mechanical shield. During a fight, this loose tissue literally absorbs and deflects a rival's shearing claws, completely preventing deep, penetrating wounds from ever reaching those unprotected internal organs. And this brilliantly illustrates where we humans so often get it wrong. We tend to treat cats like dogs. When a dog rolls over, it's typically a sign of submissive solicitation, right? They're actively asking you for physical contact and a belly rub. But when a cat displays its belly, it is completely different. Yes, it signals environmental trust, but physically, it's actually a highly tactical defensive position. Think about it. By lying on their back, a cat can instantly bring all four paws, fully loaded with claws, mind you, and their teeth into a single defensive zone. They are perfectly positioned to execute that instinctual bunny kick if they feel threatened. Section 2. Trust versus permission. The paradigm shift. If you take away just one single thing from this whole explainer, let it be this. You have to successfully separate the concept of emotional trust from physical permission. The message your cat is sending is simple. I trust you, but please do not touch me there. When your cat exposes that highly vulnerable, totally unarmored belly to you, it is an incredible compliment. Their ancient hardwired threat assessment system has basically looked at you and categorized you as a zero-threat entity. They feel so remarkably safe in your presence that they can afford to leave their most critical organs completely unprotected. It's a profound display of comfort and safety, but, and this is absolutely crucial, it is strictly not a request for you to touch them. And actually, to back this up, let's look at the data. There was a landmark 1994 ethological study at Cambridge University, and researchers there observed exactly 175 instances of feline social roles among free-ranging domestic cats. And what they found was super fascinating. Subordinate cats frequently rolled on their backs in front of dominant cats. And guess what? The dominant cats rarely ever touch them. The posture is just an ancient appeasement gesture. It's a way for a cat to passively de-escalate tension and essentially say, hey, I am not a threat and I know you aren't either. It was literally never meant to invite physical petting. But you might be wondering, why exactly do they react so aggressively if you do touch them? Let's take a quick look at the neurophysiology of your cat's skin. Scattered among your cat's normal fur are specialized, coarse hairs connected to what are called tylotrich follicles. These are intensely sensitive, slowly adapting tactile sensory receptors. They are so precise they can detect the tiniest shift in air currents or the absolute lightest brush of pressure. And guess where these hypersensitive receptors are most heavily concentrated? You guessed it, on a cat's abdomen and tail. Veterinary behaviorists love to use the balloon metaphor to explain what happens next, and it makes total sense. Throughout the day, your cat is constantly absorbing sensory input, right? It's filling up their nervous system like air filling up a balloon. When you go in and touch that hypersensitive belly, with all those tylotric follicles firing at the exact same time, you flood their nervous system with overwhelming stimulation. Very quickly, that sensory threshold is breached, and pop, the balloon pops. That sudden bite or scratch you get, it isn't malice. It's an instinctual, reflex-driven defensive reaction to severe overstimulation, and it happens way faster than conscious thought. Section 3. Reading the feline signs. Decoding body language. So how can we actually tell what our cats are feeling in that moment? Well, before a cat bites, they almost always warn you. You just need to look for the clear, instinctual warning signs that their sensory balloon is getting way too full. If their tail starts flicking or thrashing, if their ears rotate sideways or flatten back into what we like to call airplane ears, if their body suddenly feels tense and rigid, or if their pupils become really wide and dilated, stop immediately. These are crystal clear indicators that your cat is overstimulated, defensive, and will firmly reject any attempt at a belly rub. Now, that being said, every cat has their own unique personality. There are exceptions to every rule in biology. Contrast those warning signs with these ones. If your cat's body is completely relaxed, like totally loose limbs, if they're giving you those slow, heavy-lidded blinks, often called cat kisses, if they're purring softly and steadily, or actively leaning their body weight towards your hand, they might actually be one of the rare felines that tolerates or maybe even enjoys a gentle belly rub. But again, you absolutely must proceed with caution and let them take the lead. Section 4. The perfect response. How to honor the trust. Okay, so if touching the belly is usually a bad idea, what should you do instead? Here's the highly practical 3-step method for reacting to this ultimate trust display without accidentally triggering their combat reflexes. Step 1, do not rush in. Just stay calm, stop what you're doing, and observe their posture. Just let the greeting land. Step 2, acknowledge their trust in a language they actually understand. Give them a slow blink and speak to them in a soft, reassuring voice. Step 3, if you are going to initiate physical contact, stick to the safe zones. Gently pet their head, rub their cheeks, or give them a nice scratch under their chin first. Let them decide if they want to escalate the physical contact. Because at the end of the day, respecting your cat's unique physical boundaries is the true secret to building a lifelong, anxiety-free relationship. Animal behaviorists actually call this passive bonding. Just by choosing to share space with you and choosing to expose their most vulnerable area in your presence, your cat is showing profound affection. When you cherish and honor that trust by not violating their defensive boundaries, you prove to them over and over again that you are indeed their safe space. So I'm curious, does your cat show you its belly the moment you walk into the room? And are they one of those rare exceptions that actually allows a belly rub? Or have you fallen victim to the fluffy trap one too many times? Tell me your stories in the comments. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and it leaves us with a really fascinating thought to ponder. Perhaps the real question isn't whether we can train our cats to accept a belly rub, but whether they have successfully trained us to respect their wild instincts. Next time they roll over, admire the trust, but stick to the chin.